What's your favorite old anime? I know
Oh
this is a movie
Lord,
podcast, but what's your favorite old anime?
I'm watching Ranma half right now. Kind of
Old.
this, the way Karreem was saying. I'm just putting it on when I do dishes because I'm just trying to figure out where I was last
Okay,
25 years ago.
that's been on my Funimation list for a long time because it's
That
one of
that
those that's so
does
old I don't know how much I've watched of it, so I'm just gonna rewatch it completely. But I ain't got there yet.
does One Piece count? Does One
Nah, I'm
Piece
talking about
count?
older, man. Older, even though it's
Dang it. Uh,
been.
Gintama, is that old enough?
Nah, I'm
Older than that?
pre
Uh,
pre
Wait,
at
One Piece has
least
been on forever. Isn't
80s.
that old? Oh,
That's 99
80s.
though.
oh, okay. No, I guess yeah.
Dang, I don't know anything from the 80s.
Okay,
Did
well,
you
have you
watch
ever
old
seen
school
Speed
Voltron?
Racer? You said
Voltron,
Voltron?
Voltron did get me in the anime.
Go Lion
All
and
right.
Daruger. Anyway, we already did the anime podcast. Shout out Brotaku Block. But
Hmm.
movies, today we're going to do Speed Racer. So what's your experience with the Speed Racer anime? Watching.
I watched a few episodes. I remember growing up, but I was not like a
Neither was I.
huge
That's me.
fanatic.
Like at that point, it was old enough that you laughed at it. So I
Yeah,
never really took it seriously.
it
Tiff?
was along the same lines of that old anime. Was it Initial D?
Oh no!
Oh,
Don't blaspheme in here.
whoa! There's look. There's four wheels and cars in there, but it's a little separate. I always wanted to watch Speed Racer because anything that has to do with cars, I like to participate in. I like cars a lot, but
True.
I absolutely knew nothing in that show was accurate. Usually, they were always making stuff up, and also Speed Racer just seemed off. Like I don't want to say unhinged, but because he, he's a little wild.
Yeah, look, I get it. I mean, watching the movie now, I think it was a good representation because they kind of changed Speed a little bit, like personality wise. But then I was like, I don't think they did though, because by
The
the end,
costume department asked if they could put black airs on him like several times.
I feel like they got
look,
his personality pretty close because
Yeah,
look,
he was
especially by
real
the end when he
oblivious in this.
when his dog came out, the thug came out. Anyway, let's get into it. This is our first episode, the secret group of brown kids. Who are the secret group of brown kids? It's a secret.
don't
Yeah.
tell nobody.
That's rule number one is we don't talk about it. Is that a joke? Hmm.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Possibly.
it's our first
Who knows?
episode. We don't even got an intro music, so we'll just keep it keep it rolling.
We disappear.
On the panel today, well, uh, we got Karreem. Who is Karreem? Karreem is Karreem. And we got Tim. Tim, I
Hey.
forgot to ask you if how much explaining should I do on who you are. I'll let you do it.
I'm the one guy from before. I do a little music. I do a little bit of streaming. D&D Sluggers is what I've been doing the longest. And if you stop seeing D&D Sluggers stuff out, it's probably because I died or got sued by that baseball team in South Carolina with the same name.
And
The secret group is less of a secret.
hey, but I mean, we're just never going to explain that, so don't ask. And I am Tiff. I'm the host, and this podcast is me forcing my friends to watch movies with me and then talking about it. And that's my thing for as long as I can remember. And finally, I decided to put it on a podcast. So, thank you for joining us. And today, we are watching Speed Racer, the 2008 film by the Wachowskis, Lana and Lilly Wachowski of Matrix fame. Also, other stuff like Jupiter Ascending, but
I
should
always
do that
forget about that
episode
one.
down the line.
I always forget that one.
I did
Hey,
too.
I don't hate it, but this is about Speed Racer, so
We'll go ahead.
starring Emile Hirsch. Shoot, I'm drawing a blank. What's his name? What's the lost dude's name? Matthew Fox.
Matthew Fox.
Emile Hirsch is
right.
Speed. Matthew Fox is Racer X. John Goodman
John
is Pop.
Goodman. He's always somebody big dad.
Mm-hmm.
He personified in this movie, right?
Yeah.
Who else we got? Christina Ricci. It's Trixie.
Oh, how I don't know. This was during her weird period because like she just kind of ducked out and then she kept coming back for a minute for one
Where do
little
you
movie.
go from playing Wednesday?
I mean,
Yeah.
she kind of, I don't want to say she fell off. She didn't fall off, but she was always doing stuff. It was just not always for the same audience. Because I remember she was in Monster, I think, in 2004, and that was like a big award winner with Charlize Theron. But like,
Oh yeah,
original
yeah.
that,
she was in that movie
then-
Pecker by John Waters, which was not one of his best, which is saying something because all his movies are kind of bad on purpose.
Yeah, wouldn't argue that.
I think after this she did dang, you know what, I sometimes confuse her with Rose McGowan, so I'm not even going to go down that road.
Black Snake Moan.
That's right. I think it was before this one with Samuel Jackson, but that's where
that was a lot.
It was a lot.
That was too much.
I think it was a good movie, but it also like pushed it.
Yeah.
Was that the one with the girl chained to the radiator or something?
Yeah. I was like, what are we doing exactly here? They got clinics for this. Why you tie her up?
They could have made that movie.
Nah. Christina Ricci got Samuel Jackson tied to the floor.
It's like, oh, all right.
You gotta stop doing heroin.
That's where Wednesday went. She got chained to the. Okay, all right.
Oh man.
Justin Timberlake wasn't there.
We got to do that movie.
I can't think of any of the. Oh, Susan Sarandon is in there.
Susan Sarandon's mom.
In a mom in the Speed Racer. It's a weird cast.
Is that too weird?
She's always kind of hot.
Wait, there's that other dude too.
Y'all just met me.
No. That was the brother before the epic makeover.
Wait, who's
I don't recognize that actor, but
oh, by the way, I should have started that. We're gonna spoil the movie. If you 2008 movie.
If you've made it this far into the podcast and don't realize that the movie may be spoiled,
it's a little late now.
You don't care about spoilers, or
spoiler alert: the movie is going to be spoiled for you.
Yeah, whoops, brother.
Scott Porter. That guy's name.
Scott Porter.
He's been in a few things, but nothing like huge.
Does he play another guy that gets changed into another
Friday
guy?
Night Lights. That's probably it. Friday Night Lights. I didn't watch it, but the folks who did, they love that. Like I know Michael B. A lot of folks know him from that. Good for Scott Porter. Also, we had a couple of not really cameos because they popped up more than once, but some recognizable faces. Let's see.
And a chimpanzee.
You know what's bad? The whole time that chimp was in that movie, I kept thinking of Nope.
His name is just that's because he's the damn monkey.
Look, now that might be.
I was about to say this guy's name is just Willie. And then I look, it's Fincham.
I kept thinking this around. Was this movie around the time when that lady was attacked by the chimpanzee and had to get her face reattached?
Oh, I forgot about that.
I think it was before this.
Because that was like rough, and like you saw a lot of people just kind of like back off of wanting like exotic pets for a little bit, which was probably good.
Yeah.
Even to this day, you really don't see like exotic animals.
Once you started hearing that they could get you, people were like, "Oh, oops, I get a cat."
Oh, they're dangerous.
Maybe maybe it's Michael Jackson that's kind of started the trend. Like, man, I want a monkey too. Michael got Bubbles. So folks started getting
What?
monkeys apes. And then that
Yeah.
happened.
My sister introduced me to a drug dealer with a snake, and I was like, nope. He had a big old trench, big old long ass.
Like the start of
I was like,
another
no.
movie.
I was like, don't. That does sound like a movie.
That sounds like a whole nother movie.
She was like, "Do you want to see it?" I was like, "No."
Speaking of snakes, there's a character in this movie called Snake Oiler.
Correct. A good portrayal of him in the movie. Sneaky, only wants what he wants for selfish reasons. All the characters are blown out like crazy exaggerations, and I think.
But here's the thing: I think it's perfect
you go.
though. So one thing I got to point out is this came out. I can't remember which came out first, but it came out around the time of Dragon Ball Evolution, and I feel like
oh boy,
maybe Evolution came first. I can't remember, but people would like group them together, and I'm not even going to speak on Dragon Ball Evolution, but people shat on this movie hard to the point where a lot of people just skipped it. So like I
yeah,
saw
that's
it
true.
after the fact, and I was like, "Yo, this
It was a fun movie.
This was amazing." But nobody
it was a very fun movie.
Or maybe
I think a lot of the people people conflated the Wachowskis with this big action thing, and then thought, well, they'll probably take Speed Racer and they'll like calm it down and make it more like a real life kind of thing. Like, no. That was never going to happen. They were going to make it as close to the movie as they could. Did you see all the references and all the scenes they absolutely stole from anime and threw in their last movies? Of course, they're going to try to make this as close as they can get it.
I couldn't articulate this back in the day, but now I can. And basically, they're huge weebs, right?
Yes.
And like with the Matrix, if you're big into anime, I know this is a movie podcast, but if you're big into anime, you can go back and watch Matrix and be like, "Holy shit!" Like there's so many anime references, so many. So it's like the natural progression is obviously they got to do an anime movie, but instead of doing something cool, they did Speed Racer, which is like it's like Aquaman, like it's a joke, right? Almost. But this was the first time I remember the first time I watched it. I thought for the first time that I've never seen live action cartoon. Like it felt like a cartoon, but it was live action. Like it almost broke my brain, but it was so damn fun. Like it felt like a cartoon stylistically, but also just watching it, just the feel it gave me was
the delivery of the lines was over the top at all times.
And like that's honestly, if you're gonna do something like this, that's honestly that corny, like shit, take a big swing and go for it. And they did it.
You gotta go overboard and big with it if it's gonna be this corny.
So we're all on the same page here that
yes,
we thought it was fun and we loved it.
It's a super fun movie.
All right.
I wish it had gotten more attention when it came out. It's so much fun. The people that were being haters missed out.
Look, I thought I was going to spend an hour fighting for this movie's life against y'all hating on it, but hey, all right, well, let's. That's funny. Now I wonder, like, what's the backstory? Why did they pick this? But we can figure that out later.
See, I was gonna say, to me, it feels like that they did this because the person that did this movie liked Speed Racer, like he was a fanboy and he wanted to put this on a big movie.
Somebody loved this. Somewhere down the line, somebody loved this.
Yeah, they put.
You got to imagine.
Love.
There's a lot of
like.
Yeah,
they put too much into it for them not to genuinely.
I mean, they tried to make the story make sense. That's already more effort than anybody was going to do.
Not only did it make sense, like honestly, going back and thinking about it, not thinking about it, but like rewatching it, and I didn't even catch this the first time. It's super progressive, like. It's dealing with like major corporations and like capitalism
Like,
We're gonna say Speed Racer is a woke movie.
Look, I don't. Woke is now a bad word. There's no piece of AAVE, African American vernacular English, that has
Lord.
been bastardized as much as the word woke has. We were done with it. We stopped using it. I say we, if you haven't figured out now, we black. We were done with it. We buried it. It was gone. We moved on, and then Fox
woke
News
got done
came.
more dirty than Bay.
Oh my God, you're right.
They
dug it up out of that grave, and now I can't, like, for some reason, like, if MSN's my homepage at work, and they outsource their news, and for some reason, more than half of it is conservative outlets, and almost all of their damn articles have some sort of is them complaining about woke this and woke that, and I'm like, we don't even say that anymore.
Adidas is making woke shoes because they put a rainbow on the stripes.
I was done with woke when we had our giant company meeting, and the CEO had woke in his speech. I was stunned in the silence. I was like, "This what?"
Because it had already taken its, like, you know, there was the opening, man, you got to be more woke about things. We're like, let's think about it, let's be progressive. And then it was like, man, that dude too woke for me. And it was over. It was like, it's pejorative now.
Like,
and then Fox was like, so it's bad. Yes.
It was like,
we will take it
2 years after the fact. Like, you know, the general, like, lifespan of like black slang, right? Like, so, like, it comes out, folks use it, kids use it, rappers use it, regular black people use it for a bit, and then it's like, all right, time to retire this. Once, you know, our white friends start using it, but even
and white people come out of dark alley thinner. Hey girl, finna.
It's like, all right, and we're done with that.
Finna but, what? Like, just finna. Ashley, you're finna what? No, I'm finna. Okay.
Why?
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to finishing my lunch. Finna. Like, oh God.
And that's where, like, woke died. But then 2 years later, Fox News came back with woke is ruining the woke sickness is ruining the progressive movement. Like, what is we don't
the
even
woke
see
mind virus? Like, okay.
But yeah, anyway, so but the Wachowskis, they're honestly, they've always been like this. Like, if you go back and watch the first Matrix, like, it's a very progressive movie. Not going to say woke. It's a very progressive.
They slipped a lot of smart, ahead of their time stuff into their movies, and Speed Racer is another good example of it too.
Yeah,
letting Trixie race seems like real small, but it's kind of a big deal.
It was a big deal. Like, they put her behind the wheel, and then of course
she was
like
killing it.
I can't remember the exact line, but like there's even like a little cheeky line about it. Like, oh, we didn't expect people.
Yeah, she said something, Steve.
But I thought that was dope. Like, and I mean, the main bad guy of the story. I mean, we can go through it beat by beat. Actually, let's do that then, and we could.
He is obviously like a send up as usual. He comes to the mom and pop place and goes, "I want to have you race for me." And the whole point was just to take him out of contention. So he owned him and was like, hey, you know what? If you don't race for me, I'll crush your little business because I can. Because I do it every day.
I'll ruin your whole family.
Yep. And you know what? I'll hit you with litigations. And it doesn't matter the legitimacy of these lawsuits.
Yeah, he literally says those words. That's you're dead on right there. He literally says it just like people do right now. All the time.
Rich guy.
It's not even about winning a suit. It's about making people know about it. God, dog.
But we'll get into Mr. Royalton here in a minute. It's such a... Honestly, he was a fun bad guy, but...
That's true.
So the movie starts off with Speed in the locker room, and we get flashbacks of setting the stage for basically his relationship with his brother. So he's back in school, and we see that he's a horrible student. It actually
He
reminds
is
me of
dumb.
me because I was a kid that they used to stick in the corner, and I'd just doodle because I wouldn't pay attention. But that's what Steve Racer.
Steve Racer.
That's what
Steve Racer.
Here he comes. Here comes Steve Racer. He's a demon named Steve.
I wonder if it actually started out as Steve Racer, and they were like, "No, we got to change it. This is not. Nobody's gonna watch this."
How you gonna name him? How you gonna name him Speed, but you name me Rex? I'm leaving.
So he's
and to give the second child a chance.
So Steve Racer, this is Steve Racer for the rest of the podcast. I'm sorry. He's instead of doing his test, he's thinking about racing, and his brother who races, Rex, Steve's brother Rex.
Rex.
And then it's like it's jumping between the flashback of him being bad at school and him actually racing. I guess after he came out the locker room, like the announcers are kind of explaining what's going on, and you kind of get an idea. All right, the memory of his brother is strong. We don't quite get to what happened to his brother yet, but he purposely he's about to win the race, so we already see like, all right, Speed is an amazing racer, obviously, but he purposely lets off the gas right at the end just so he doesn't break his brother's record for that track. But then we go back to another flashback, and we see that he died. Rex Racer died in an explosion after he left home, so there's some family drama there too. So what y'all think of the start?
All in all, the exposition could have been a whole movie in itself. It was it was kind of that long too, but like they did it really well.
I appreciated how they the montage, or not even montage. It wasn't really a montage because it was jumping between flashbacks, but
it was like flashback within flashback sometimes, so it was a little. You kind of had to pay attention for a little bit before you could get to the ridiculousness.
I like how they did that, because it was a great way to do a flashback without having that boring lull in the movie. It's like, okay, backstory. Yeah. But this kept you interested while they were doing it.
5 minutes too, so it wasn't bad.
Yeah, no. It would have been kind of rough to spend the movie in the past and then in the middle, and then like kind of compressing it all into one space made it also just as fast and fun.
Plus, it helped with the story anyway. It's like they almost wanted you to guess at certain things in the movie.
Yeah, they did a good job of setting up. Also, they threw in like I don't remember this from the show. Like I definitely know I didn't see every episode of Speed Racer, but like they gave some depth to some things, like, oh, that's why Speed Racer wears red socks, because his brother, he crashed the car with his brother.
You won't die if you wear red socks.
So, all right, okay.
Now the Red Sox
kudos to him to letting his brother like steer a race car.
See that part. I was like, wait, with his eyes closed. Wait,
I ain't got no older brother that believed in me like that, or at all, honestly. But I have no one in my life that would put me on their lap and be like, "All right, man, you steer this race car."
Low key, I was sitting there like, "Wait, is this how he died? Is this what happened? Like, is this? I need to go back. Is this how Rex died?"
He fell out the car trying to keep
and Speed.
Speed killed his brother. What? Steve did it. God darn it. Can't trust Steve's.
I'm gonna get a t-shirt say Steve Racer.
Steve Racer.
Just with some other dude.
Just a real regular looking guy. Steve Racer.
Okay.
All right, but so after the exposition dump, which I shouldn't. When I say it, it makes it sound like it's a bad thing, but it was pretty solid. That's when we meet, or the whole house starts shaking. They're having breakfast the next morning, and turns out someone's at the door. And they open the door, and it's a dude, and he has a jet behind him. That's what we're shaking now.
Right.
This jet, and it's Mr. Royalton who owns a giant corporation, and he's basically trying to get well, like you said earlier, Steve Racer on his team.
That's how you get rid of competition. You buy it.
I don't like how he basically forced his way in the house, though.
He really did.
Because he knew, it's loud. It's loud. Why don't you just let me come inside? It's loud. It's loud. Don't even worry about it. I'm going to come inside.
You can't hear me. I'll just come in.
I'm going to just, yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just come
we
in.
good. We good.
Yeah, close the door. Close the door. I'm inside now. Close the door.
I was weak.
The guy in the jet, like, he done did it again.
That's my boy, Mr. Royalton. So smooth. And like he talks about how much he loves pancakes, and he convinces them
the
to
driest pancakes I've ever seen in my life.
Take them down to the city so he can show them his his company. And now Steve already knows that Pops is anti-corporation. They are a family racing team. They don't want to be owned by any of these corporations because he knows what happens. But I guess they'll entertain him for a bit. Plus, he gets to see. I mean, they get to go to the city and check some stuff out. And while he's there, the whole crew's there. Mr. Royalton's showing stuff off. I guess we should talk about Spritle and Chim Chim, Steve Racer's little brother. They Rex, Speed, and Spritle. Anyway.
How they this one ain't gonna do nothing.
He dumb. He dumb. Give him a pet monkey and put him over there.
You give your children powerful names, and John Goodman named his son Spritle. Anyway, like they already knew. Like we already got two beast racers.
But what's the dad? Is the dad's first name Pops? Because
look, it's just Pops.
This kid gonna have Pops. This kid is gonna have Pops a baby, Racer. So we're gonna name him Pops right now.
he's destined to be a dad.
You're gonna be a dad.
Your name is Pops from now on.
All right.
He got named by the son from Sanford and Son.
It doesn't take too long before it's revealed to us, if you haven't already peeped the little things, that Mr. Royalton is skeevy. Also, it sets the stage for the bad guys of the movie are these giant evil corporations. And then after that scene, we get a fun scene where a guy is being tortured by some old-timey Prohibition era gangsters in an office that's revealed to be in the back of a semi-truck.
Yeah, it was like that was a lot of layers.
Look.
I said, all right.
I actually love when movies do this where you can't tell if it's in the future or the past. But this is also based off of an old anime, so who cares? But I appreciate
John Goodman's character's name is Pops.
Just Pops.
You thought I messed up twice.
No, I just wanted to see if it had a real name. Let me see.
That man named Pops. It's like when you find out your mom's name, you're not named Mommy.
What is?
But yeah, they're getting tortured. He gets rescued by Racer X, who attacks the truck with his cool race car, and he saves him, even though the dude is kind of a jerk.
But like
what's
the
his
whole
name?
situation is he's part of a corporation that is being leveraged against, but he's also a racer who is being paid to throw races. I'm just kind of like, bro,
It's a,
There's a lot
pick
going on with
something.
him,
it's a lot.
and he's
His
a
character
jerk.
was doing a lot. His
Yeah,
character was doing a lot.
It's like pick something. Which you?
Teijo
But
Togakan.
I was just glad that Rex was like, listen, I saved you and you gonna do me a solid, right? And he was just like, I'd have to think about it. And Rex like, Racer X like, get out.
Get out.
Fine. You can walk to wherever you in the middle of nowhere, highway in the middle of Japan. We'll just let you out.
I was
Teijo was
weak.
played by Rain.
Walk.
He's a Korean singer, right?
Oh, wait, what?
I don't listen to K-pop. I mean, I do just a little bit, but not enough. I know enough to know that Rain is a Korean singer, but don't ask me no song. He's been in a couple other movies too. He was a Ninja Assassin. That's what it was. Ninja Assassin. You ever seen Ninja Assassin?
Oh, I've heard of those.
Well, that's on the list.
I have not seen any of those, but I've heard of those movies.
It's a
whoa. Speed Racer look different now. He look like he live in Gravity Falls.
Not Gravity Falls. Not.
Okay, but after Racer saves Rain, Racer X saves Rain, so he can get back to K-pop. We get Speed and Trixie about to get it on in the Mach 5 up at Lookout Point or whatever, Makeout Point. And
yeah, that was abrupt.
Now, I wanted to see how far you're gonna go because I was like, is he gonna hit like a button and a bed pops out in the car? Is the car that advanced?
Like at least a blacked out top or something, right?
I feel like Trixie was the one that was ready, and Speed hadn't gotten this far yet. So
yeah, she was the aggressor the whole time.
Trixie like, hey, so what's up? And he's like, you ever thought about cars?
Yeah, cars are nice. Cars are nice. But,
she's like, yeah, I know about cars, Speed, but I'm thinking about something else. Oh, I'm still thinking about that guy and the racing. Like, Speed. What? Why?
Like, Speed, why'd you bring me up here all by yourself? I just want to see how fast we can get here. What?
Seemed like a good place to talk about racing.
No other reason? Nothing?
Oh, this is...
And all of a sudden they start hearing thumps. I was like, wait, what the hell is that?
Oh,
It's Spritle and Chim Chim in the trunk? Because...
that was always a big thing in the show, and it killed me because it was like those two would sneak into the car and then they would race through the Himalayan mountains, and Speed would be like, I hope I don't die out here. This is a dangerous race. Oh. And meanwhile, Spritle and Chim Chim just in the trunk eating candy bars or some junk. Like, what?
The shock absorption in that trunk must have been fantastic.
They should have made a whole car out of whatever the trunk was made of.
Look, the wild thing is that isn't even the last time it happens in the movie. Not to skip ahead, but yeah, but I forgot that was a thing in the cartoon, the anime.
They did it just enough in the movie to make it funny, but thankfully he wasn't in there doing a dangerous race. In the mountains.
Thankfully, until he was.
Right, until he was just there. It was just like, oh,
what you doing in there?
Look, how did he look like he? But at that point,
for hours.
Not to skip ahead, but at that point, he knew that was the race that Rex died in. And you're right, he was in there for hours with the monkey.
He was ready.
I don't know if you guys have been in a regular car trunk. Not optimal. Race car trunk? Probably less comfortable.
Wait,
doing flips and shit?
Have you? Wait a minute, hold on. Have you been in a car trunk?
I am a smallish person, and I like shenanigans. I've been in a car trunk here and there. It's a lot more acceptable. It's a lot more acceptable in cars from 2000s on because they got a little thing you could pull to get out.
They got the latch.
A 79 Cadillac Brom does not have that.
But you're just in the trunk. You're just
you just hope your friends are good friends.
That's for you now. When you find out this is
There's a longer story that I will not subject you to, but yes, trunks.
Speaking of that, this is a tangent. I apologize, but I was kind of looking for like some like spooky story podcasts, like maybe some Bigfoot or UFOs or shit, and it didn't quite work out. I just ended up in the true crime realm, and I don't like that because it puts me in a bad headspace just hearing about people getting killed all day long. But I still listen because I was stuck, and there was a lot of so and so in the trunk stories. So I appreciate Spritle and Chim Chim thugging it out.
Making it out alive.
To bring it back.
They're just glad they weren't in South Carolina.
So many questions.
Oh man. But moving on, we get a clip of Mr. Royalton and what's his name, Mr. Musha, played by what's his name, Hiroyuki Sanada, who at the time you probably wouldn't have thought anything of, but he's been in a lot of cool stuff. Most recently, at least for Americans, he was Scorpion in the new Mortal Kombat. So it's cool.
Oh, he was also in Bullet Train.
Yeah, he was in Bullet Train too. Like he's at the point now where Americans are starting to recognize him because he's been obviously a lot of Japanese stuff too. But it's cool seeing him pop up in things.
Yeah.
So you see Mr. Royalton colluding with Mr. Musha and about transponders or something.
Oh yeah. Their weird substitute for fictional car parts thing.
I think that's just like that.
It's not really because they weren't chasing it, but yeah.
Technology, that fancy technology.
Look, it's the future and the past because he also had his Prohibition era goons. Anyway, after that, Speed comes in and officially turns down the offer. But then Mr.
I'm gonna give you a suit back.
Go ahead, Tim.
He's like, I gotta give you this suit back.
And a brown paper bag.
I can't do it.
And a brown paper bag.
Look, he's like, what's this?
Thanks for the offer.
He tells a snappy story about how his family loves racing and racing is a religion. And in his house, like the big sponsors of the devil. And Mr. Royalton's like, look, I'm not gonna pretend like I ain't here.
Oh no, that was the meanest thing. He's like, I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that. I was like, what the what?
I'm telling you the truth. All this shit is rigged. The big companies control everything. And you know what?
That was rude.
All we care about is profits. Stop.
Money.
Oh man. He's like, all those Grand
the whole
Prix
thing with
races,
the wrecked car
were fixed. And so like
that must have crushed him.
Yeah, like you could tell he was holding it together, but it didn't crush him as hard as it was when he told Pops. Like Pops didn't want to believe it.
No.
Pops. Shout out Pops.
He had a very like, no, I don't think that's how it works.
No, it's not. It's not.
That's not what they said on Fox News.
And when he was done, like snapping at Speed, he was like, "Now sign this shit."
No, yeah, he was like,
"Now that I crushed your soul, sign this paper."
Speed politely declines because he got manners, but like Mr. Royalton, you know, I mean, after he gives him his suit back, Mr. Royalton's like, "All right, well, you're gonna lose your next race, and I'm gonna sue the shit out of y'all." Like, it doesn't matter if the legitimacy of the lawsuits won't matter because I'm gonna just hit you with so much, and the news is gonna cover it, and like your reputation is gonna be in the toilet.
It's such a
that's how I roll.
wild flip, though.
Sounds like somebody's president,
he was
right?
talking about. Wasn't he talking about buying his mom pancakes? Talking about signing his dad. Talking about, hey, we gonna do you good, and then
Well, you gotta
immediately like,
understand, I love
fuck.
pancakes. You know what? I'm drop a contract and send it to you.
He was
The
all about it.
driest. He liked them pancakes.
I don't know. He ate
But
them.
yes, you're very much correct about a certain ex and hopefully never again politician. It sounds exactly like his
It sounds
words.
exactly like him. I'm gonna just sue you.
I'm not gonna talk.
Look, we ain't gonna talk about him. But Mr. Royalton, you know, obviously that's a playbook for the big wigs, I guess.
Mm-hmm. You got the cash, you can make anybody look bad to some degree.
Yeah. So, but you know, Steve, his name's Steve Racer now.
It's just Steve now.
Steve goes to the race anyway at Fuji, and we get another locker room scene, and the legendary racer that he used to watch with his pops comes up, played by Shaft. Richard
Yeah.
Roundtree, what's his name? Ben Burns is the character's name. I couldn't tell because he was being real vague on purpose. I couldn't tell if he was trying to tell Steve like
Gave him the
if he
best
was,
I feel like it was right
yeah,
down the middle. It was like, you're not necessarily gonna do good if you don't go along with these people, but you can fight it if you want to. I'm
yeah.
not gonna tell you not to.
He gave him the old man shoulder shrug. I did mine.
But
It's on
he
you.
didn't straight up say it. He was like, you know, I can't remember what he. I wish I remember what he said verbatim, but it was like it was just the vaguest shit.
He stuck out his hand. He extended it around Steve's back, patted him on the shoulder 2 to 3 times. Said, "There." That's all I got.
He gave him random anime quote.
He was like, "You good? You good? You good?"
He came in and said, "Yeah, you sweat if you run hard," and walked out.
Man. So this next part was a little confusing. This is the only part. Honestly, this is my only nitpick about the movie. It the editing was kind of weird because it was happening. It was like flash forwards and flashbacks at the same time, but then what he said happened, but we already saw it happen. So anyway, Steve loses the race and crashes.
They done messed up the car.
Yeah,
They messed up the invincible car.
They ain't got no Mach 6 anymore, which was confusing for me at the beginning of the movie because I was like, how they gonna change that part? Just that 6?
But here's the thing: didn't he have the car in the next part?
See, I was gonna ask about that.
So
because the car was destroyed.
They went from Mach 4. Mach 4 is the red one that Rex was racing. Mach 5 was the one that Rex used in the races and gave to Steve. I don't know what car Rex blew up, but I think it was the 4. And then Steve was racing in the early part of the movie. He was racing the 6. So it's like they changed the 5 to street duty and the 6 was for racing, which was still not really how it worked in the show. They just always upgraded the Mach 5.
So what was in the living room was a retired car.
So what blew up?
The one that he rolled around with the one that he rolled around Fuji was 6, and then when he was driving around with Trixie, he was in the 5. They like if you had a drag car, but one day you just decided to get something better, and you just kept that car for tooling around to look cool.
Skipping ahead since we in it now, the final race, because they had the building montage. It's like, what? How long did he say that Mr. Rolton takes to build a car? 36 hours.
Oh,
we're gonna do it in 32. Was that not 7?
What you gonna do? You ain't gonna put wheels in it? What did you skip? Oh, we didn't put a trunk on it because that way the kid can't get in here. We just left the trunk off.
Wait, you just
that solves that problem.
Little kid come up around the back of the car like, I'm about to.
Jim can't.
Hold on. Look at it. Daddy, your Popsy forgot something. It's incomplete.
So you better go somewhere else. You ain't getting in this car.
Oh man, but yeah, Inspector Detector and Racer X come to the house to try and recruit Speed to the CIB. I already forgot what that stood for, but I guess it's like the police folks who
I thought it was
investigate
car
racing car
inspector
inspection
division.
bureau. They, I don't know. They give out
It
state
was some,
inspections.
yes, some kind of worldwide crime finding crime, but they were trying to
Yeah,
find
but
out
like
things
race
about the
related
racing
crimes.
thing.
Yeah.
A whole division for
Inspector
racing crime, but not race crimes.
Fun fact:
Yeah.
Inspector Detector is my Wu-Tang Clan name.
Okay. All right.
His
never
family
put your name in the Wu-Tang Clan name generator?
I did not.
I think I did, but I don't remember what I got. I didn't get Childish Gambino, obviously. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I
Could have
see.
changed my life.
I didn't care about getting Childish Gambino. I mean, it was funny after the fact, after he came out. I did it before he came out, but I always wanted. I was jealous of the folks who got 100-watt Warlock.
Oh wow!
Like, look, if I had gotten
Oh, mine
100-watt
is
Warlock,
Wacky Tormentor.
I'm gonna give it a spin again. Let's
hold on.
see here.
I got
My
Wacky
wife
Tormentor.
was ever
Put
so
my government
wary.
name in there. Oh no! Well, I don't like that at all.
What you?
Slashing Gruss Americana. What?
Oh,
I don't.
That's unfortunate.
I was put it through the message thing so y'all can just see. This is how it was written.
That's funny.
Like, what am I supposed? What?
Gruss Americana slashing Gruss.
Is it Groose? I don't. This
Look, if
I
I'd
have failed at
Warlock, I would be a
Wu-Tang.
rapper now.
Wacky Tormentor ain't too bad. I'll keep it. I will keep it.
Shoot, I wish I hadn't put my full name in there. Now I feel like, just what about Soltron? What can you make out of that?
Soltron died. That's now it's slashing Gruss.
No, that ain't no better. Pinky Tracker. Man, cut this out the thing. I don't want to see this. Pinky Tracker. Like, man. Anyway, Inspector Detector is dope. I like his hat.
They trying to recruit Steve to the scene. And they're I'm sorry.
I don't know.
They're recruiting to a team that's working a case involving the racer they rescued from the gangsters earlier. But Steve would have to do the same race that killed his brother Rex. Of course, Pops is like, fuck nah. Steve still live at home, so he gotta abide by Daddy's rules.
Isn't Steve 17?
Something.
Was he 17 in the movie?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Because there was a point at which he was like, "You're a kid." Oh no, I think you're right. He was like, I don't know. So maybe he's 18.
Maybe he had a birthday, and that's a deleted scene.
You know what felt like a deleted scene? When Steve gave the excuse that he was going skiing so he could go do this race. Because you don't find that out until like the race is well going. You don't know that Pops doesn't know he's out there with the Mach 5 doing the race because he was told not to do it.
There's a scene where it's Trixie's idea. There's a scene where Trixie's
oh no, you're right. But like, Pops just goes for it.
We're gonna do. But like, Sprittle's at home, Spritle and Chim Chim doing Spritle and Chim Chim shit. Actually, this is the tamest they were in the whole movie. They're just watching.
Yeah, they're just actually chill.
TV. And then they went to
sneaky
watch
like little
race.
kids, like normal.
The one time, and they went to watch the race because it's like a cross country race, and Pops came back because he forgot his keys or some shit or his wallet, and he's like, "What I tell you not to watch it, not to watch the race?" And like, instantly they're in trouble, and what do little kids do when they're in trouble? They
snitch.
They snitch. He snitched so quick.
He's like, "Well, if Steve is out skiing, who's driving the Mach 5?"
They snitched so quick.
He roll up. I'm a snitch.
And of course, like Pops is like, all right, well, whatever that country's name was, I forgot, but he picked up the whole family.
Yeah, they just rolled right out like, what you doing?
I mean, they are a family with a helicopter somewhere in the yard. They got the coins to travel.
I mean, Trixie got the helicopter. They never made that, like, whose helicopter.
Well, she did at one point. She's like, I can fly my helicopter and help you during the race, which still sounds like cheating, but it seemed like other teams might have had helicopters. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they implied that teams could have spotters, but we only ever saw 2 helicopters, one being Trixie's and the other one being the announcers.
Yeah.
So
true.
So
that wasn't in the budget.
We see that this isn't like the first race we saw Speed in, and like he's racing against some real undesirables. What's the
this race? This race is a little more thuggish.
He's racing dirty.
Look, the guys he was racing against, cartoon bad guys, obviously.
Ridiculously so.
I wish I knew some of their names, because you could tell that some were from the show.
Well, there were like some Viking themed ones.
Yeah,
and the
main that's named race, the Casa Cristo, but the main one was Snake Oiler.
Mm-hmm. His team was like Snake Dudes.
What was funny was how some of them were paid. That was what got me.
Well, all of them, or I don't know if all of them, but enough of them got paid to take Steve out. Right.
That was one of my favorite scenes. Was just kind of everybody got that information.
The type of currency that they used to pay him like that. The roughest group got paid in like little furs.
Oh no, you're right. Everybody got their own little different thing.
I was weak.
But everybody was hot for it. They were like, take him down. That's your goal. Don't even worry about winning. Take out Speed Racer. Car fighting, though.
Yeah.
I know you've heard of gun fu, but this is...
That's honestly like one of my favorite parts of the movie, aside from like just the aesthetic itself, is we got to see the car fighting. They didn't do some real like Dark Knight, like gritty remake, where they tried to make everything super real. It's like, nah, these all that bullshit you saw in the cartoon, we gonna do.
You got a steering wheel, a brake, a gas, and a clutch. You do like the Hadouken move, and you can punch another car.
It was bumper cars times 20.
I wrote down some quotes, and one of them was from this part where we see Snake Oiler, and he goes, "Let's pinch these turds off," in reference to getting rid of some of the races and start with shenanigans. So I'm going to see how often I can use that in real life.
Yeah. You maybe going down the highway?
So, let's push these turds off. We got places to be.
You know what?
You try to keep somebody out of the elevator at a convention.
Close button.
No, I dare you. Oh my god.
So like I know I said I'm bad with movie quotes, but like one thing I've said for as long as I can remember is a Jurassic Park quote from Samuel Jackson, which is "Hold on to your butts." And like I always say that whenever I'm about to like make a turn and like I'm trying to get in before the car's oncoming traffic comes, and I know I have to hit that gas. Hold on to your butts and not flip the car over. So
I said that when I put me I upgraded my computer on my own for the first time ever. I put RAM in it. I put a video card. I put a couple other different things in there. I put a new power supply. And when I went to cut it on for the first time, I just sat there. I was like, I gotta say it. Hold on to your butts.
That's what he was doing.
And it did not work. I was very upset. It didn't come on. I was like, oh no. I eventually figured it out, but I was like, damn.
It's not the same when you gotta say it a second time.
It wasn't pleasant.
Oh man. So they finish like the first day of the race or whatever, and we get a scene with Speed and Trixie back at the hotel eating dinner. And did you peep that instead of wine, I guess they're not old enough to drink. Instead of wine, they were drinking Diet Coke, and they put the Coke bottle back in the ice bucket.
I ain't even spot that. What?
Like she put the empty 2-liter Diet Coke bottle back in upside down in the ice bucket like it was a wine bottle. But
kids doing adult things.
Oh man. But thanks to Spridle and Chim Chim, they snitched. Family shows up, and that night, I guess they convinced I forgot what he said, but they convinced the Pops that we're not going to go home. We're going to keep racing. And that night, they were attacked by ninjas. And
those were the most budget dollar store.
That was their first day.
They managed to fight them off. And not just fight them off, but Pops showed up, and I think they killed one of them.
One of them was at least one of them is dead.
He's gone. He's gone. There's no way.
The one that got between the wall and the couch, and his legs were.
There's no way. There's no way.
They beat up the one guy, took his car keys.
Look, so
did that mean the ninjas showed up in an Accord?
Like right before Pops got to work, like we got the close up on his ring, and he's like a wrestling champion.
Yes. It was like big mistake, son.
They got beat by an old man with a back problem, a kid, and a monkey.
Look, my favorite part of the whole thing was at the end. Trixie goes, "Were those ninjas?" And Pops goes, "More like non-jas."
But now, why did they have to clown on Sparky? Every fight in this movie, they just make Sparky look like the most uncoordinated, unhelpful.
Sparky has one set of skills. He fixes the car. That's it. That's it.
Look, anytime he tries to read the newspaper, the mom get mad.
Oh no, yeah, he says he's straight up just kind of like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just read this part of the paper that's explicitly about your son dying, Sparky. Oh yeah. You probably wouldn't like when I read that.
Shut up. Poor Sparky. He even got a moment at the end of the movie where like Speed basically is like, he doesn't say it, but he's like, you're important to me. Sparky almost cries. All they do is shit on him.
He needed that. That was everything he needed.
So the next day, that's when they so Taejo also gets attacked, and they don't poison him to kill him, which they should have. I don't know why. I mean, he's kind of important, so they didn't want to kill him. They just want to take him out the race. So they gave him some poison that would like still make him groggy in the morning, so he couldn't actually drive the car. So they concocted this plan or it's revealed to us that Trixie is driving the car, and the sister is in the helicopter with him, and Taejo is in a dress on. He's dressed as his sister on an airplane where the Prohibition era gangsters show up to kidnap him. Is that?
Yeah,
did I get that right?
They were gonna kidnap the sister. I guess they wanted her for leverage.
That was my only gripe about the movie, because just 2 seconds earlier he was too weak to drive, but now
he was strong enough to. Hey, but it was
fighting
a long
off
drive.
people.
Maybe he that like hour that he would have been groggy in the morning was enough to like take them out the race, or they just didn't want to put them behind a wheel of a car.
I mean, and it's possible that those dudes were just like not giving it their all because they're like, that's just a little woman. Oh, dag, she got hands.
Yeah, they sent the sea crew to go try and grab her. And it's like, oh, snap.
They sent the interns.
Sorry, boss. We weren't able to kidnap her because turns out she has hands.
Them poor guys. That one dude had to get his finger bit by the piranha just to plug up the hole.
Like,
why are you still coming to work?
I don't care who you is. I'm not.
No. Like he pays him pizza, but they also.
No,
I don't care who you is. Now you put your finger in. No, what? No.
I don't even like you that much.
No. Mm-mm. You might as well throw me off this right now. Just no. So I quit. Oh.
I'm gonna jump out the back of the truck with maybe Racer X will give me a ride.
Look, I'll go in the CID. I'll be Inspector Detective Junior.
I'm snitching. I'm telling all the plans.
I'm stick my finger in the piranha tank. Look, that was him.
Also, he got a piranha tank. That's illegal.
Exotic.
Ain't no way smooth
that. So after they do the Trixie gets to drive, which is great. See her behind the wheel. And the plan was there's going to be a blind spot in the mountains, and then they'll switch Tejo back in with Trixie and all that. But the gangsters try to fight them, or they catch up. They were there the whole time. I don't remember, but there's a big fight, and who saves the day? Chim Chim and Spritle pops out of the trunk, and they help fight. Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, we ain't gonna talk about that too much, but they won the fight. They get back in the cars. Oh, I forgot to say, Racer X is with them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And does he have superpowers?
He's just really good at driving.
Because everybody is like regular human fighting, throwing blows. Racer X is like Captain America out there fighting. Like he's kicking and throwing bodies across the landscape.
Look, when your teammates consist of a 9-year-old and a monkey. Honestly, the monkey should have been the one. Like, ain't chimpanzees got like, ain't they dumb strong or something? Like, that's who I would be afraid of.
They should have been worried about getting their face off.
Look, nope. Anyway, Racer X Superstar.
It's like looking in a mirror, but not really.
They eventually win the fight thanks to Spritle and Chim Chim, and they hop back in the race, and they come back out on the mountain, and that was them versus Snake Oil or whatever, and he gets Steve. He like through their aggressive racing, Steve falls off the mountain, and he pushes the button, and the spikes come out in the wheels, and he drove up the other side of the mountain.
45 or more degree angle. Like, it's ridiculous. He's in the lead now.
The car backflips.
Steve is going up the mountain.
Is this the part where Snake Oiler gets out his ultimate weapon?
Yeah. The freaking oil.
Well, no, he tried the oil. He had a different weapon.
The pistol.
It was a gun.
It was a gun. That's right.
He just pulled that damn gun.
Damage. And that does the most damage to the car.
Oil.
Everything else.
Cars had maces on them, shooting ninja stars. What did he pull out? A 9.
That's where you know he was mad. That's where he was mad at that point.
He installed a lot of special features on your car.
He knocked this dude off the mountain, and then he came back. He drove up the mountain and got back in there. He said, "Fuck this."
He was upset.
I've got one last special trick on my car. It's installed underneath the seat.
That is where you're so mad you lose all reason, and he just wanted him
Nobody
gone.
keeps him running.
Stick oiler gets pulled over. Like, sir, do you have any weapons in the car? Hell yeah.
What you think this is? Now let's pinch off these turds.
Oh
Anyway,
no.
I forgot to talk about this, but I don't remember. This wasn't in the show, right? Early on, like the first race you see, whenever a car is destroyed, there's like some foam that shoots up and it encases the driver in a bubble, and they just bounce off to safety.
They
so
safely,
somebody's actually dying.
That was that was not in the show.
My favorite part is, even though you see that happen and they establish, okay, so folks ain't really out here, like they ain't murdering folks, right?
Yeah.
You don't always see it happen. And sometimes these cars explode so fast that you're just like, oh no, well, he's dead. Like they show you the bubble, like with Snake Oiler, they made sure they show you that he had a parachute.
Oh yeah, he had a parachute, yeah.
Okay, he survived. And like in key moments you see the drivers survive, but not all the time. Sometimes like Steve just straight up like they got killed.
He working people.
That was my favorite thing about the cartoon sometimes, because it's like it's the International Race of Champions, and we're going up down. Looks like the number 9 car is going off the cliff and exploded, and he's dead, so he's not in the race anymore.
It's in the rear view. It don't matter anymore. It's in the rear view. It's in the past. It's gone.
Sorry, your son died in the International Race of Champions, but he's dead.
I want to know who's retrieving who's retrieving the people in the bubbles.
I think you just got to walk it off. You just got to walk it off.
Like how are they getting? You know how heated I would be.
At some point, the announcers say that there's an emergency trailer that they send.
Okay, because I would be livid if something happened where it ran in the middle of nowhere. I had to bubble out the car, and now I'm just on this.
You can't move.
You're just sitting in the bubble like
what you could have done.
So upset.
That's why
Speed Racer. Shoot, he knocked me off. I should have shot him with my gun.
That's the type of mad where I would have showed up at his house 3 a.m. just burn it down. Just finally got home.
You think you could just run into my car and bust it up and bubble me? Who you supposed to be, Steven? Steven Universe?
This is your fault.
Steven Universe. Don't be bubbling people.
All right.
Win the race fair and square.
They win the race, obviously, after that. And but it turns out that Toga-Con was bullshitting, and he never planned to give up the secret file to the CIB. He just wanted to win the race, and that raised his dad's company's stock price, right?
It still saved them from getting taken over, because then old purple moneybags couldn't afford to buy their company anymore.
Yeah.
Or it was more than he wanted to pay. So it was like they did hurt him, but it wasn't but old girl came through, the sister.
Yeah, so they were all defeated, and it's like, we got used, and that's the end of the season.
And Steve went rage driving on the track.
And then the
his old rage drive scene.
Like, they still think I'm at the opera. So I just came to tell you that, the winner of the what's it called? The Casa Cristo gets an invite to the Grand Prix, but my brother's he doesn't want to do it. So I'm giving this to you. If you present it on the day of the race, they have to let you race. Convenient rules.
Wow, we sure should have made sure there weren't some weird loopholes in this race. We cheat in every way possible, but we didn't think of that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. They won't figure this out. It'll be fine. That was the thought process. They won't. It's all right.
Just the way the names work in this universe. Like, who wrote the contracts for the races? Oh, that's just loopholer. That's who wrote. He wrote all the
I
contracts
skipped
for the
the part
races.
before the sister comes in. We see Steve go in a little emo rage, and he runs out, and he
Yeah, the rage driving.
Yeah, he was rage driving.
Oh yeah, he
now he's
goes
Tokyo
to the.
drifting. But somehow,
Where he tried to take
Oh,
your boy out.
that's when Rex shows up.
yeah, Rex was watching him because that's not creepy, and he catches up to him somehow, and then they race battled. And I guess Steve bested him, and Rex is really impressed. I'm sorry, Racer X is really impressed.
Racer X, because
by
who
this,
knows anyway?
right? Really impressed by this, and he's like, "Man, you can drive."
He's like, look, I wouldn't have asked you for help if I didn't think you were good. It just didn't go our way. Stop being a little bitch about it.
Yeah,
Stop crying. Quit
he
crying.
was like,
Quit crying.
"Why don't you admit it? You're my brother, aren't you?" And Racer X is like, "Hell no, I'm sorry. Your brother's dead."
I mean, Steve had some good points. Racer X was caught.
It's like, you race like him. There's an X in your name. Racer's in your name. It just makes too much sense.
You knew the secret spot I would go to when I'm mad. You knew where I would be. You're him. You're my brother. Racer's like, no, I'm not.
You knew the code to get in the house when you and Inspector Detector came. You just put the code in the door and came inside.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Stupid.
Show me your face.
Oh yeah, that's when we see his
There,
face.
this is my face.
Like, it's a different face. Which at that point
that
we hadn't actually, like, it could have been just like they decided to cast an older actor and that was the younger, but they were like, nah,
yeah,
that's not him. Even though we know it's a lie.
You've seen the show. You've seen the show, right? Steve asks in the show the same question. He's just like, "Are you my brother? Are you Rex Racer?" In the show, Racer X just punches him in the stomach, knocks him out.
What?
I mean, I can show you the clip.
Stop it. He does not.
Oh, he does.
Wait.
Hold
on.
I'm gonna.
He just hits him. He hits him and runs.
Men will literally do anything besides go to therapy.
No, he just. I found it. I damn found it. Hold up a second. I can't believe it was so easy to find, actually. I'll just send it to you guys right now because I didn't want to believe it was this simple. This is how it went. Was in the message box. This is all he did.
Oh.
That was his solution to the problem. Are you my brother? Are you my brother, Rex Racer? Hiya!
Oh snap!
Me all late.
That was his solution to the problem.
You don't even see to see it. He just gets
And he telegraphed it too. What he was like, here it go.
I found my new profile picture.
Just him doubled over on the ground.
Now, look, I wish I didn't see that. You know why? Because now I'm upset they didn't put that in the movie. They put everything else in the movie.
Oh, like, that would have been hilarious.
I mean, seeing his face, seeing his face probably felt like getting punched in the stomach.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
No, it would have been so much better if he just got punched.
I died. I think I rewatched some of the anime about 2 years ago, and I was like, "Wait, what? That's I've got a solution to every problem."
I would have been weak.
I had to stop the show and just stand there, like, wow.
I would have been weak.
He's like he's an international spy, and he's just like
that. Racer X is in my top 10 anime characters.
You put him in the. He needs to join the One Piece pirates.
Yes,
they can put him. They can put him in the One Piece rap.
That is wild.
Jesus.
But yeah, so after that is when Togokan's sister comes and gives him the invitation. So that's when we get the pops going. How long does it take Roland to build a new car? 36 hours? We're going to do it in 32. And we get the montage of them building the Mach 7?
6. Well, no, it should have been the 7. But
because we already saw the 6.
One of the Machs.
One, I don't know, but this one was the cleanest one. Like, it was clearly like, this is a
they
race
went
car.
overkill with that.
The other
one.
Mach 5 was like, they could drive that one around town. Nah, this one's not street legal.
Not with that spaceship engine in it.
Look, they put that spaceship engine in it, and he's like, "Always go burn the Tolly" or whatever. I feel like that was a reference that went over my head, but
I wanted to believe it was something like a little bit more car centric, but not really. I think they just kind of wanted to be like, Pops is old school, but also a crazy person.
Because look, when skipping ahead just a little bit, when the car stalls or whatever, he knew how to jump start it. Like, he knew, look, this experimental spaceship engine is gonna get the job done. But
like the whole thing that Rex is explaining, that he's explaining, like, you just want to listen to your car and you'll figure out what you need. It does not usually apply to making the car start. You can do that when you are out on a track and you feel a vibration in the wheel. You're like, oh, I think my tires are out of alignment. Or you get on the brakes and you feel a vibration. It's 90% vibrations. You're not listening.
The car not going to tell you to put it in fifth and jump start.
Car like, psst.
Well, the car is off. The car is off.
Fifth gear.
What are you listening to? The car is not. It's not on.
Just listen.
But I like Mom's thing though. Mom's like, what can he do? Well, he could put it in fifth gear, and that'll start the Bernoulli something or other. Will speed know to do that? I don't know.
Will the mechanic do? What's his name?
Will Sparky know that?
Will Sparky know?
And Spritle even sitting there like, nah, Mom, they don't know. They don't know no stuff like that.
We didn't have. Dad wanted it done in 32 hours. We didn't have time to go through the user manual for the spaceship engine.
That seemed a little important. Okay, engine might stall.
Y'all should have worked for 35 hours. I mean, just, why not?
The engine might stall, Steve. So if it does,
to catch back up. Mr. Rolden tries to prevent Steve from getting in the race, but Inspector Detective's like, nah, we're gonna uphold these rules. It's legal. He can join, and
you gonna let him race, or are you scared?
Because he's sweating bullets. So what race starts, and it's Steve. For the most part, it's Steve versus like the current champion. I forgot what his name is. Earlier in the movie,
was it like champion or something?
Royalton's company, Spritle. We see a little clip where Spritle sees them building a spear hook, which is an illegal little mechanism that they is under the car, and it hooks the other car, so they're like entangled. The other car can't move anymore, and it's stuck to the one with the spear hook, and that's what he had a champion or whatever put on.
It seems like a very double crash way to end a race.
Yeah, like both of y'all going.
If you attach, you can't.
See, I was
the
sitting
only way
there.
it
Why
works is if it's like you're about to go in a tunnel that can only fit one car. Like that's the only. Even then.
Like you'd think it would be something you'd have your teammate do to him to slow him down so you could still win.
Why not have a device that can just like stab out the tires or something? Why is it a suicide device? Why am I taking myself out too? What is this?
Overthinking this, I guess. But
maybe if he had maybe he should have used the snake oiler.
I mean, well, okay. Well, the cars can't fly in the movie, so I mean,
well, then they would have
it
seen
kind
it,
of makes sense.
and that was part of the thing. Like,
Yeah,
it's
very
under the
hidden.
car, so the camera people aren't going to see it. But Steve notices that because he's smart, and he was like, "Okay, well, I gotta somehow get the car to flip over in front of the camera, so everybody could see that this nigga cheating."
I'll use
So
my jump jack.
he summoned the power of Vin Diesel
Look,
and
actually,
flipped it
that is
just
a
right.
Fast and the Furious move. You flip one.
Yeah. Well, of course, Steve and Vin Diesel have something very important in common: family.
Family.
You
not
know
see that
what?
coming? Look, you got the
Can't
power of
stand
Coke,
it.
Mom,
You know what?
Spider,
Podcast
Chim
over.
Chim, and Sparky.
Podcast over.
Look, you think I'm bad now? Wait till we do the Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh my
It's,
god!
I am in love. That's
I
partly
mean, there
why
is
I
another
love
one
this
coming out.
I mean, yeah, and also I'm gonna say this right now. Part like literally the success of the Fast and the Furious movies is because they started following anime formulas. But that's another podcast. So, so he defeats, damn near kills champion or whatever his name is, but it stalls the Mach 7 out, Mach 5, Mach 6. It stalls the supercar out, and that's when we get the. Is he gonna know the? He has to put it in fifth and jumpstart the engine, and he listens to the car and he does. But at that point, he's so far behind everybody else. But he's Steve fucking Racer, right? And this is my absolute favorite part of the movie because he has to. He's in. I don't know if he's in the back, but a whole bunch of cars already passed him, and he has to pass them all to win. And he starts racing his ass off, and like, I'm not even gonna lie. I know I got excited about it. Like, my mouth was just open the first time I saw the movie, and then when I rewatched it for this podcast the other day, all over again, my mouth was just hanging open. Like, how insane that last bit was of the race with him just passing folks, and then he got to the last two. He didn't just pass them.
He did not have to do all that.
Man, look,
he did not have. All he had to do was go around them.
Look, he could have just drafted and slingshotted around them. Nah, he fought them, threw them, and killed them. No, he didn't kill them. They bubbled. I saw the bubbles.
He took them out.
But
he took them clean out.
Remember, I said he got that dog in him. Like, he was raised with manners and everything. But like Steve Racer went full nigga. He just decided at the last second, instead of just beating them, I'm going to take the number 2 and number 3 out. Well, the number 1.
He wore black Air Ones for that race.
Look,
he said, "Y'all won't race me again."
Look, and I quote, he was like, "Look, teach me something." Actually, no, he said that earlier. This part of right before he did it, he says, and this is a direct quote from Speed. He says, "Get that weak shit off my track."
He literally says that.
He really said that. You know? It's like, what you gonna teach me? And then he freaking throws both cars. They explode. Get that weak shit off of my track. This man became a whole different person. That humble little "here's your suit back."
This changed the whole movie for me at that point. That was
get that weak shit off.
I was like, wait.
I don't remember that from that. And the whole time Rex is watching like Palpatine, like, yes.
The Force, yes.
Sparky keeps going, I'm gonna get that milk.
Feel the Force, Steve. Feel the Force.
Oh man. But yeah, he wins the race, and as he crosses the finish line and comes to a stop, he raced so hard that the tires were melting. And I was like, I fucking love this movie.
He was passing out in the car.
That's how hard he raced. That's
Karreem.
He wore out the tires.
He didn't wear out the tires. Wore out tires at bald. Karreem, his tires were melting. His tires got so hot, the rubber was dripping, and yeah, you saw how hard he raced to get back to number one after he had to put in fifth and jump start the car, the gravitron engine and shit, and killed them 2 people.
When he rebooted that engine and put it in fifth, it unlocked something.
The Black Air Force Ones. Look, I know they looked in their rearview. They saw this nigga coming for him. What you say?
He had to kill him.
Oh god!
But yeah, that's pretty much in the movie. Real quick, we got the scene with the Inspector Detective. Like, why didn't you tell him the truth? And he's like, or are you sure about not telling them the truth or whatever? And he's like,
yeah,
why didn't you whether I'm right or I'm wrong, I'm live with it. And you find out
that's not answering my question. Like, you ain't answering my question. And then they showed the scene with the most epic plastic surgery I have ever seen in anything. Not only did you change his face, you gave him height. Because he was nowhere near the same size. I said, wait, this is how... Y'all not gonna explain why he went from a young buck just out of college to a tall old man with 5 o'clock shadow and 3 kids and a divorce?
No blood on the bandages.
No blood.
That surgery was better than Face Off. That movie, that old Face Off movie. Said, good God.
He fixed racing for everyone. He went out of his way and he fixed racing for everyone.
Look, they saved the world with that race.
Yeah.
When you talk about that, the doctors that with that technology.
I hope. I mean, they got the technology to increase your height, right?
Probably.
Like they break your bones
By that much.
Like,
by that much.
Bit, like, isn't it like 3 inches or something like that?
That's.
It's a thing.
My brother was he was 5'8", went to 6'9".
You look. Same company that made the leg implants made the gravitron engine.
Yeah. He got the Bernoulli leg implants.
You know what? That explains why he was kicking people like that.
Yeah.
that explains it. That explains it.
You got your answer?
Yes, I'm satisfied now. I'm good. I'm good.
Final thoughts. I guess if we didn't already say everything we had to say.
I think my overall feeling of the movie goes back to the beginning of what I said. I feel like if more people had not gone into it with the expectation of a realistic racing movie, then and had a little bit more experience with the show, they would appreciate it. It's a very fun movie, and you just can't beat it for like just ridiculousness.
I get that. I keep a list of my favorites, and though it's not like top 5 or something, it is on my list of absolute favorite movies. So I'm glad we all I have to fight none of y'all.
Yeah, I can see myself watching it again.
Yeah, you didn't have to convince us. It's a good movie.
I mean, the movie had maybe at the beginning because it was like the cars were almost dancing, and like how they did that for instead of just having like a standard, just racing. I'm just gonna get past you. It was like there was dance moves on the track, the way they were moving around each other.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, this is fun. This is nice. This is fun. Never seen a car do a backflip and it look like it's an actual backflip. Like, this is all right. Okay.
Rocket League moves. Actually, no, I'm not sure why Speed Racer isn't in Rocket League yet. Got everything else.
So, a working Mach 5 was built for the film, along with several other full-size cars.
Working?
Yeah, but obviously they didn't actually race them because the actors were sitting in the gimbal for the cockpit scenes.
I want to drive that car.
Ooh, Keanu Reeves turned down the role of Racer X.
Oh,
I can see him in that role.
I can.
John Wick.
But I think Matthew Fox did a good job too.
Yeah,
he did.
He also like he was cool, but he was still a bastard. He punched Steve in the
he
stomach.
Punch him in the stomach. Could have done it. It would have worked.
It would have.
Ratings, Karreem.
I'd watch it again. So I give it a 6-7. Yeah, it's something I can watch again. It's something I would definitely tell a friend about and watch it with them.
Okay, that's fair. You don't love it though.
Not my favorite, no. But it was still a good movie.
But okay. You know what?
Because Fast and Furious are my favorite racing movies. Well, when they actually raced. First two. One.
Hold up.
Two.
We're not going to get
technically
into that.
Technically 3. But
I don't want to say it's fighting words, but
No, I'm not saying Fast and Furious movies are bad. Just they ventured away from the racing.
Okay, but this is a tangent. We'll get into it when we get to those movies because the 10th movie coming out, so might as well get into that later. But I'm gonna just say, just real quick, they knew they couldn't just keep making racing movies and have people care. The first movie was also a heist movie, so they said let's focus more on the heist again. That way we can keep it in line. So everyone focuses on the races, and they still be racing a little bit, but it was also a heist movie. Because remember, it's this Point Break with cars, the original, right?
Absolutely, it very much was.
So
yeah,
we'll get into that in a future episode. But Tim, what's your ratings?
I would. No, I a lot of times just go like out of my like 1 to 5, but like you're using a 10 with half points. I
whatever you
give
want
it
to.
like
You can
I'd still
say,
give it. I would give it a 9 out of your scale, and I would give it a okay. Have you seen Speed Racer? In any conversation, like
there you go.
It would come up, and I will let somebody know you probably should. If you liked this movie, let me tell you why you would like Speed Racer. Or if you watched Initial D, let me explain why you should watch Speed Racer. Just weird stuff like that. I would recommend it.
We are eye to eye. We're exactly the same. I have it on Letterboxd. I have it as a 9, which is a masterpiece in my eyes. And if you can scroll through some of the, I don't want to say message boards because that's not really a thing, but Facebook groups and stuff, where I've argued on behalf of Speed Racer several times. There's written evidence of that. So
would I have given it a 9 if I watched it when it first came out?
I don't know. I mean, some people, they've said like on initial watch they were lukewarm, and then they went back and rewatched it, and then it clicked. So you could be one of those folks.
Well, no, because
I liked it very much when I first watched it, though.
What did you say?
I very much think when I first saw it, it was like good stuff. I wouldn't have needed a rewatch
first watch,
to recommend
I loved it, but also didn't watch it in the theaters. I could watch it after the fact.
Same.
So
you know what? I can see it during that time having the same effect as the first Transformers movie on me in the theaters. It blew my mind because I was very much a little kid geeked out in that movie chair.
Okay.
Just hearing the transform sound messed me up in the theater. I was done the rest of the movie. It was over. It was.
I'm actually.
I was crying, screaming, snot balls. It was ugly.
I wasn't like that, but I do actually love Transformers 1 and 3. 2, fuck no. 4, we didn't need to do that. And by 5, Michael Bay was on so much cocaine that
Yeah,
he thought
yeah.
making a movie, a 2.5-hour movie with the average cut of a second, a good thing. Like Transformers 5 physically hurt me to watch because the cuts were so fast. It just felt like I was being assaulted. Like whatever's after sensory overload. And then he did it again
Now I
with
need to go look for that one.
6 Underground. The average cut of those movies are maybe like 1 or 1.5 seconds. So every 1 to 1.5 seconds, there's a cut. And
The fight
there's
scenes are intolerable.
always sound and screaming and action and a whole lot going on, and boom, 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 boom for 2.5 hours. It's an assault.
And the sound didn't even match the robots half the time. Like they were
didn't matter when you're
talking
on
and moving
cocaine.
at this.
So to Michael Bay, I'm sure it was like watching a regular movie to him, but he's on cocaine, so everything's sped up. But to a regular person, bro. Anyway, yeah. Thank everyone for listening to our first episode.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's
So
cool.
I'm not going to elaborate on what the secret group of brown kids is, but hopefully we'll get
Do we know what the next
Tim and
movie
Karreem
is?
back, and you might meet some more members. I feel like you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope, and you're not just trying not to hurt my feelings. So
It was fun talk. It's fun talk.
Any plugs? Any social media? Anything you guys want to drop?
Same as always for me. If you can type D&D Sluggers into anything, you will hopefully find me and not a softball team in South Carolina. If it's a softball team in South Carolina, look again. I'm the one that does the music.
Cool.
Kareem, I got nothing. I'm slowly disappearing to the ether.
All right, that's fine. If you want to look me up, I'm Phronicus on Twitter and Tiffzilla on Letterboxd, and my Instagram ain't popping, so I ain't gonna give you that. But thank you. We'll see you next time.
All right, then.
See you.